Hello children, how are you? Hope good. This is Shah Khan and I'm back with my new ICSE video on my YouTube channel, Obey Learning Way, UL Way. Today I'll try and finish scene 3 of Act 1 and hence the act itself. So I'll get started without wasting any time. And what did we study in the previous video? We had studied that the senators had plans to officially appoint Caesar as the king or monarch of all the territory under the Roman Empire except the land of Rome itself, which was still to be ruled by a senate only. And Cassius, following the principles of Stoicism, had declared that if that happened, he would prefer to get himself killed, or rather kill himself, than live under tyranny. Casca had been influenced by Cassius and he had agreed to join him in any effort that Cassius was going to make to prevent this from happening. We had seen how Cassius had used his manipulative and communicative skills to influence Casca and make him a party to the conspiracy. So that was about the previous video. Let's get started now. Let's start the text now from where we left in the last video. Cassius, there's a bargain made. Now know you, Casca. I have moved already some certain of the noblest minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous consequences. And I do know by this they stay for me in Pompey's porch. For now, this fearful night, there's no stir of or walking in the streets, and the complexion of the element in favors like the work we have in hand, most bloody, fiery, and most terrible. Okay. Cassius says, then there was a deal between him and Casca for cleansing Rome of its evil. And he said that Casca should know that he has already influenced some of the most noble-minded people of the Rome, some of the most noble men in Rome, and had made them to agree to join him in a plot to rid Rome of tyranny. And he says that they were waiting for him because the night was so terrible and terrifying that people would not be out in the street. So they are waiting for him in the Pompey's theater, Pompey's porch, where they would meet, and there was no danger of being identified or seen. Cassius said that it was an honorable enterprise, but it was fraught with risks and danger. Okay, job that the enterprise, the task was honorable task that they had at hand, but risks and dangers were there. It was fraught with risks and dangers. And he compares the knight's condition, which was terrible, terrifying, to the job that they had at their disposal. It was a very terrifying night. And he compares the knight's condition to the job that they had at their hand. It was a bloody, fiery, and terrible act. And it was not for the weak-minded people. It was not for the weak people. It was for the strongest and most noble among Romans. Casca, stand close a while, for here comes one in haste. Cassius, 'tis Cinna, I do know him by his gait. He is a friend. Enter Cinna. Cinna, where haste you so? Cinna, to find out you. Who is that Metellus Cimber? Cassius. No, it is Casca, one incorporate to our attempts, and am I not a state for Cinna? Cinna, I am glad on it. What a fearful night this is. There's 2 or 3 of us having seen strange sights. Cassius, am I not a state for? Tell me. Cinna, yes, you are. Oh, Cassius, if you could but win the noble Brutus to our party. Cassius, be you content, good Cinna, take this paper and look you lay it in the praetor's chair, where Brutus may but find it, and throw this in at his window, set this up with wax upon old Brutus's statue. All this done, repair to Pompey's porch, where you shall find us. Is Decius Brutus and Trebonius there? Cinna, all but Metellus Cimber is gone to seek you at your house. Well, I hie, and so bestow these papers as you bade me. Cassius, that done, repair to Pompey's theater. Okay. Now Cinna enters the scene. Cinna is one of the noblemen of Rome. Okay, he's one of the noblemen. And Casca says to Cassius, Casca asks Cassius to stay close, for he saw someone rushing towards them, and he says that he should stay close as someone was rushing towards them. And Cassius says that there's no need to worry, as it was Cinna, and he recognizes him by his gait, the way he walks. And he asks Cinna, Cassius asks Cinna, where was he rushing to? Cinna says that he was looking for him only, and Cinna asks who was there with him. Was it Metellus Cimber that was standing there with him? Cassius says no, it was Casca, and he announces to him, and tells him that he has become a party to, he has joined their party, he has joined their conspiracy. and he asks Cinna whether he was being waited upon by others. Cinna says that he was glad to hear that Casca had become a party to their conspiracy. Casca had joined their group, and then he starts talking about the night. He said that it was such a terrible and terrifying night, and two or three of his fellow men, his noble, the some two or three of noblemen of Rome had seen some strange sights, some very strange, some very unnatural thing that they haven't seen in their life before. Cassius stops him and asks him again whether the others were waiting for him or not. Uh, Cinna says yes, they were waiting for him, and he adds that if only Cassius could make Brutus join their party. If only Cassius could make Brutus join their party. Now, this is very important because it it tells us that this was the last and real thing that they needed before putting their honorable enterprise into action, their honorable action, their so-called honorable act into action. This was before, without Brutus, they could not have done it. Okay, so this shows that the importance of Brutus, and it shows that without Brutus, none of the conspirators were. He's a representative of the conspirators here. All the voices we don't hear, only some of the voices we hear in the play. And this voice representative what the conspirators want, that they want Brutus to be a part of the conspiracy. Cassius says to Cinna, rather Cassius asks Cinna to have some patience. And what did he mean? He meant that he has already started acting upon his manipulative efforts to include Brutus to their party. Cassius gives Cinna a letter, or we can also say a piece of paper, and tells him that it should be put in Brutus's praetor's chair. Now, what is the praetor's chair? Praetor's chair is a kind of royal chair. Okay, praetor's chair is a kind of royal chair. Okay, royal chair. Which royal men and people, it symbolizes a man's power and authority and noble and their nobleness. And we know that Brutus was a nobleman, and so obviously he had this power, he had this authority, and he had this praetor's chair. So this one letter was to be put in Brutus's praetor's chair. He gives him another paper and says that this was to be thrown in through Brutus's window. And Cassius gives him another letter and says that this was to be pasted on one of statues of Brutus's ancestors. Now, what does this mean? This was the manipulative act that Cassius was performing to include Brutus to their party, to their conspiracy. These letters have been written by Cassius only, but when Brutus would see them, it would appear to him as if they have come from different citizens. And that way he would think that, oh, the citizens feel very strongly against Caesar. And so that would help make up Brutus's mind against Caesar and make him join the conspiracy. Okay, so Cassius tells Cinna that once you are done with it, he should come to Pompey's theater where he would find them. And he asks whether Decius, Brutus, and Trebonius were there or not. Cinna says that everyone was there except Metellus Cimber, who had gone to Cassius's house only. He was gone to his house to seek him. Cinna says that he should get going now and do what he has been asked to do with the letters. And Cassius says that once he was finished, once he was done with the job, once he has finished doing his job, he should come to Pompey's porch. Then Cassius and Cinna exits. Okay. Cassius, that done, repair to Pompey's theater, exits Cinna. Come, Casca, and I will yet ere day see Brutus at his house. 3 parts of him is ours already, and the man entire upon the next encounter yields him ours. Casca, oh, he sits high in all the people's heart, and that which would appear offense in us, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will change to virtue and to worthiness. Cassius, him and his worth and our great need of him, you have right well conceited. Let us go, for it is after midnight, and our day will awake him and be sure of him. So Cinna exits, and Cassius says to Casca that he should come along before the day breaks to Brutus's house, along with Cassius. And he says that 3 quarters of Brutus was already theirs, and upon their next meeting, he would be fully theirs. That is, he would make him agree to join the conspiracy. That was Cassius's confidence, and his confidence stemmed from his manipulative and his communicative skills and his understanding of the psychology of the human mind. He knew Brutus so well, he understood his psychology so well that he could anticipate how Cassius would react to different things, how he would react to what was being said to him, how he would react to when he would see the letters. So that is where his confidence stemmed from. And now, what Casca says is very important because it tells why everyone wanted Brutus to be a part of the conspiracy. What Casca says about Brutus is very important as it tells why everyone wanted Brutus to be a part of the conspiracy. Casca tells about Brutus that he lives in people's heart. He lives in people's heart. He's loved and admired by them. And he's like an alchemist who turns things into gold. And his loved, admired, and respected nobility. See, it's not nobility is nobility, but it's not normal nobility. It is adorned with so many adjectives: loved, admired, and respected nobility, which will make things look virtuous, which otherwise would have looked bad if they had done it alone. So that is Brutus summed up for you. That is Brutus's need for the conspirators. Why Brutus is needed for the conspirator is very well summed up by Casca. The figure of speech here is main figure of speech here is simile. When like is used to compare Brutus's noble presence to alchemy, and at a level, if you see the whole comparison is like a metaphor for what the conspirators desire to achieve. Now Cassius says, Casca, you have very well summed up Brutus, and he did sum up Brutus very well. He says that you have very well summed up Brutus, and their need of Brutus at this point of their conspiracy. Cassius says to Casca that it was already past midnight, and before the day breaks, they have to go and wake Brutus up and make sure that he was part of their plan. So that ends scene 3 of Act 1, and that ends the Act 1 also. Okay, end of Act 1. Okay, and this is the end of Act 1, in where we saw the problems that were there in Rome, and the central or main players of Rome at that time. We are not seeing it as history, so we are seeing it as a play. So we saw what the conflict was, where was the conflict arising, or where has the conflict arisen, and who were the main characters of the play. And we have also seen that the conspiracy is now taking its final shape before its execution. And so that ends Act 1, and in the next video I'll come up with a summary of Act 1. So that's it, children. I hope you have understood the things well. If you have any doubts, you can post it in the comment section. Keep watching, keep liking, and keep subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching the video.